And Opelika veteran awarded for his heroism in combat. Straight ahead on the News at 5, what our hometown hero did to be awarded the Medal of Honor at a ceremony at the White House today.
And hundreds converged on East Alabama this weekend for the inaugural football game of the Whitewater Classic. Today we take a look at how much of an impact it made on our area.
And a suspicious package shuts down at Atlanta Airport. Coming up, the latest on the investigation into what was left behind. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for News Leader 9 at 5. I'm Barbara Gauthier.
And I'm Jason Dennis. Topping our news, a hometown soldier in Alabama receiving top honors for his courageous efforts in battle. At the White House today, President Obama awarding the Medal of Honor to 2 servicemen, one being from Opelika. News Leader 9's Rosalind Giles joins us now with more on this hero and the heartfelt ceremony. Rosalind?
Jason, it is the nation's highest honor, and retired Army Command Sergeant Major Benny Atkins is now joining the ranks of many other deserving service members who've also gone above the call of duty. Atkins repeatedly ran through enemy fire to pull injured comrades to safety when his camp was attacked in Vietnam in 1966. Today, Atkins stood proudly as the Commander-in-Chief put the medal around his neck.
Well, let me just say, today we honor 2 American soldiers for gallantry above and beyond the call of duty at each of those moments. Specialist Donald Sloat, who stood above that grenade, and Command Sergeant Major Benny Atkins, who fought through a ferocious battle and found himself on that jungle hill. Nearly half a century after their acts of valor, a grateful nation bestows upon these men the highest military decoration, the Medal of Honor.
Atkins is the 80th service member to receive the honor while still living. And also receiving a posthumous medal honor of today was his specialist Donald Sloat, who threw himself on a grenade to save fellow troops in the Vietnam War. His brother accepted the honor on his behalf. Sloat was killed in action in 1970 at the age of 20. Back to you guys.
All right, Rosalind, thank you so much for the story. Well, now that the inaugural Whitewater Classic football game is in the books, Phoenix City officials are taking a look at what did and did not work and evaluating ways to make it better in the future. News Leader 9's Tyrone McCoy joins us now to take a look at some of those ideas. Tyrone?
Well, Barbara, with an estimated turnout of more than 5,000 people, one of the biggest concerns was safety, and the Phoenix City Police Department says they had it all under control. Chief Ray Smith tells me the department was able to pull from its experience working football games at Auburn University and partner with the Russell County Sheriff's Department to provide a crew of around 30 people on the ground and in the air.
To utilize some of those tools that we have at our disposal, like a helicopter, like the observation platform. Some of those assets belong to other agencies, but we utilize them through MOUs and so forth. And that gives us an opportunity to work with them in a controlled event like a good football game.
Chief Smith tells me there are no reports of any other incidents aside from parking citations. Now, tonight at 6, I'll have a look at things that Phoenix City leaders say they think worked and did not work as a result of that game, and that is based on the feedback from you guys in the community. For now, here in the newsroom, Tyrone McCoy, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, thank you, Tyrone. The Muskogee County School Board gearing up to address several important issues within the school system, one being the firing of a teacher at Rothschild Middle School. She's now fighting to get her job back. News Leader 9's Annie Hubble is live at the Public Education Center in Columbus to tell us more about her quest to get back in the classroom and some other key agenda items for tonight. Annie?
Hey Jason, that's right. As you said, a former Rothschild Middle School teacher is preparing for another round of talks tonight with the district to try to get her job back. Now, 2 weeks ago, a tribunal affirmed the district's decision to let Laquita Buckner go. According to testimony from district witnesses, Buckner, an English language arts teacher, was put on a professional growth plan due to her lack of professionalism and performance. Now, also, the board is preparing to take official action to approve a resolution in support of the redevelopment power Powers Law. Now, this law encourages redevelopment of blighted areas in the region by creating a tax allocation district, or TAD. Now, TAD offers a flexible way of financing economic development without using general funds or raising taxes. Now, the only downside for organizations like the school board is that it requires a freeze in their tax base, and the only increase in revenues would come from the higher values on these approved neighborhoods. Now, Superintendent Lewis is also set to approve a couple of grants tonight. Now, we will have all these decisions and more tonight, as well as an update coming up at 6. For now, reporting live in Columbus, Annie Hubble, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, Andy, thank you so much. New details tonight on a fire in Columbus that damaged 2 homes this morning. News Leader 9 was live on the scene of Stafford Drive as fire crews worked to douse the flames. 2 homes damaged in the fire. Investigators tell News Leader 9 the 2 homes were both vacant, and that it's thanks to a firewall between the 2 buildings that there wasn't even more damage. No injuries reported in the fire, and the cause is unknown at this time.
We also have an update for you tonight on a double apartment fire from earlier this month that displaced more than a dozen residents. The first fire at the apartment complex located on Casita Road was believed to have started from food left on a stove, according to Columbus fire officials. But they say the cause of the second fire, which happened just hours later, cannot be determined yet because of the amount of damage. No occupants of the units were injured in those fires, and the Red Cross is still assisting.
Well, a scare today at the world's busiest airport in Atlanta, the day before President Obama is set to arrive there.
Authorities are investigating the report of a suspicious device at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. That international terminal there has now been deemed safe, and departures are reopening. The international terminal in Atlanta was restricted earlier this afternoon while officials investigated.
President Obama is scheduled to fly into the airport, but not to that particular terminal tomorrow afternoon to meet with officials at the CDC. News 9 is monitoring the situation and will bring you more information as it becomes available.
And let's start you off.
All right, Derek, thank you. Domestic violence scandals continue to plague the NFL. One of the latest, allegations of child abuse against one of the league's biggest stars. News 9's Brittany Dion joins us now with more on this particular story. Brittany?
Barbara, pending child abuse charges against star Minnesota Viking running back Adrian Peterson has brought spanking back under public scrutiny after these pictures of his son, 4-year-old, surfaced. Scratches and welts cover most of the child's body, including his back, legs, buttocks, and even scrotum, according to authorities. Peterson told police he spanked his son with a tree switch inside his Texas home in May after the child became aggressive with a sibling. I spoke with the Russell County Child Advocacy Center today about the disturbing pictures to find out if this type of punishment is considered child abuse in the Chattahoochee Valley. Tell me if that's considered abuse. 4 years old.
I would say at 4, when it's to the point where it's showing skin or bottom layers from where the skin is broken, then yes, that constitutes child abuse.
Now, Peterson was suspended from Sunday's game after against the Patriots, but today officials announced he has rejoined the team and will return to the field for the next game on Sunday. Now, many of you have weighed in on our Facebook page and on our website, WTVM.com, about this incident. Some of you have asked, when does spanking become abuse, and did Peterson really cross the line? I asked local experts that very question and more. We'll have those answers and the results of our poll coming up on the news at 5:30. Back to you, Jason.
All right, thank you so much, Brittany. State Senator Josh McCoon's opponent is questioning his leadership ability, and now the incumbent is responding today. Brian Roslin held a news conference earlier in Columbus. Roslin is running for Georgia State Senate District 29, which includes Harris, Muskogee, Meriwether, and Troup counties. He's pushing for more help for military veterans. Roslin also believes District 29 has suffered from inattention by McCoon.
I am someone that will always be present in our communities and will always listen to all of the people of District 29. I am a middle-of-the-road, fiscal conservative Democrat, and I think that I will represent the area very well. Railroad industry.
In response, Josh McCoon tells News Leader 9 during his 4 years in the state Senate, he has helped get critical funding for K-12 education and renovations for facilities at CSU, saying, quote, "My opponent, who seems to have no positions of his own, is seeking to win this election by misleading the public regarding my record."
Well, former President George H.W. Bush is now endorsing Georgia Republican David Perdue. Today, Bush said Perdue would be, quote, "an independent voice for Georgia." The move was expected as Bush had pledged to support the GOP nominee. Perdue is running against Democrat Michelle Nunn for U.S. Senate.
Georgia drivers are being targeted for unsafe driving. Operation Drive is a multi-state patrol on Interstate 85, which keeps an eye on unsafe driving behaviors among commercial vehicle drivers, like those texting, following too closely, or driving fatigued. The campaign will begin tomorrow and end on Thursday, September 18th. The new 72-hour campaign is being led by the Georgia Motor Carrier Compliance Division in conjunction with the South Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Up next, the U.S. calling on help from other countries in combating the threat of militant groups in the Middle East. We'll tell you who has already stepped up to aid in the mission against terrorists.
And find out what new programs are in the works to stop Americans who turn to extremist groups.
And congratulations to Chelsea Gardner from Phoenix City, Alabama, for winning the WTVM Rivertown Ford Umbrella today. 2 more winners for you coming up this week. And to win yourself, all you have to do, head over to the weather tab at WTVM.com to register. And we'll talk after the break about big weather changes coming up in the next 7 days. Hope you can stay with us.